and festivals are meant to take us closer to spirituality. Only when these occasions appear, we try to remember Krishna, try to reconnect with spirituality. Otherwise, we very easily we will get lost in this material world. The normal or the regular routine life is so absorbing, we just get lost. So if anybody or any occasion is reminding us about Krishna, Guru, Vaishnavas, and Sadhu Sangha, very glorious. One tiny thing, you are taking a decision in life. Make sure the decision doesn't separate you from the Vaishnava association. Because in the last 2 years, many people took major decisions of life. Some people moved away, some people moved in, some people lost jobs, some people got new jobs. So many things happened. But just make sure none of these decisions are taking you away from Vaishnava company. Because we will never realize the glory of what we have lost. Sometimes it will be like after 5 years or 10 years, we realize that I have lost this. So, very, very important to meet both again and again. Doesn't matter if you don't like a particular close your eyes and say because Indian nature is so sweet and so, what do you say, so subtle. Without our knowledge, it will separate us. And the amazing part is, knowingly we will do this mistake. If somebody is doing that mistake unknowingly, you can educate them. But we know and we do this. So, anytime, any decision in life, make sure you are always in the company of devotees. Every moment you spend with Vaishnavas, devotees, just imagine it is adding your spiritual credit. Krishna has a bank account for each and every one of you. And he knows you very well because he stays in our heart. Every time you smile and say Hare Krishna to a devotee, your spiritual credit, the bank which Krishna holds, that the credit increases. Some people's account is full already, right? And they make one decision that I will go away from devotee, it becomes zero, right? So very important. And Ramanavami, Ramaya, Ramabhadraya, Ramachandraya, Vedase, Raghunathaya, Nathaya, Sithaya, Padhaye Namaha. Lord Ramachandra. Along with Bhakti, Prabhu or Ramayana also teaches the foundation of Bhakti. I still remember in the earlier days, we all got Krishna consciousness and we were fresh. In late 80s and the beginning of 1991, That is the time we all got this bhakti devotion, knowledge about Krishna consciousness. We were so blunt. I still remember I went to temple and after 1 week I went directly to my father and said, stop eating meat. My father said weight loss. You know, when I went after 1 week of Krishna consciousness, I told my father, if you want to eat meat, you cut your finger and eat. And one slap. We were so blunt. I have preached to so many people and changed all of them from Krishna consciousness. That is how we are preaching. Make sure you never turn back. So bluntly. Private time with you. You are all the time surrounded by devotees. One special quality of the Lord, Bhagavan, never alone. How many of you feel loneliness when you are alone? Right? I don't have friends, I don't have company. Somebody's mind, nobody talks to me. You feel loneliness sometimes? Yes. Yes. You feel because Krishna feels that. Because that's why Krishna is never alone. If somebody wants to be alone, he will say Brahman realization to some jungle. You go sit there and chat home and have a big peace. And all the birds will make music. Krishna, very person. Never, you can never see Krishna. Always gopis, gopas, wives, and we have all in hundreds and thousands. Wives in thousands, friends in thousands, devotees in millions. He has got all the huge number. If nobody is there, at least to carry like what is there, calves and peacocks and monkeys, always devotees. So, Lakshmi said, can I have a private audience with you? Always you are with how many wives have complained to their husband about this? I'm not getting time with you. No. All the husbands are very lucky. Avataridesh husbands feel. No wives have come. Or maybe they are tired of them. Maybe they know this. So Lakshmi also complained to Narayana, can I get a little private? Narayana said, I'm always available. You are available to me along with 1,000 rupees. You are never available low, means wholly, solely for me. I don't know from where this Narada comes. Then now I am trying to be little closer to Narada. And all these people. Then Narayana said, I really love me so much. Then Narayana told Lakshmi, now we are alone, nobody is there. Only you and me. No one around. And Lakshmi said, hello, people, just tell me, Ananda with 1,000 head and 2,000 eyes. He's got 1,000 head and each head 2,000 eyes. Only Narayana said, that is to completely be alone with you is not possible. That's little difficult. So Lakshmi Devi said, that is any amount of obstacle, but I want you, I want to have you alone. And I said, fine, it's not easy. Lakshmi said, no, no problem. I can face any amount of challenges and obstacles, but I want to be alone. Then Narayana said, don't worry. Because he has Raman. There's no space, you can just shake and sit. That's what most of them do. Please come. There is a lot of space on the stage. They want to be there. So very strong. Yeah. Oh, actually, it's kind of face any challenges and obstacles, but I want to
In the Avataridesh, Sita has to go through so much challenges when she appears. Not easy. So what we understand is
attaining pure bhakti, one-to-one, intimate, heart-to-heart relationship with Krishna is not very easy. But at the same time, Krishna is there in everybody's heart, and Krishna expects that people develop that sweet relationship. And we are just preparing for that. The moment we strike 50, we should say enough to this material world and spend that intimate, develop that intimate, private relationship with Krishna. Prahlad told, by 50 you should go to jungle. He said that in Satyayuga when people were living for 1 lakh years. He said that in Satyayuga, go to jungle. And I'm sure nobody has crossed 50. Everybody's in their 30s and 20s. Right? At some point, Krishna is expecting that each and every devotee will develop that sweet relationship. Otherwise, because of our bhakti, collect a lot of punya and again take birth. Because we don't want pure devotion. At the same time, we are devotees. We are chanting everything. So what will happen if you don't want pure devotion? Then we will collect a lot of punya. Lot of punya. We will become rich, we will become handsome, beautiful, powerful, leaders, this, that. Class for me? You have. Okay. So, there will be challenges. But in bhakti, none of the challenges are meant to stop us. It is meant to uplift us to the next stage. Just make sure. There will be challenges in bhakti. How many of you are facing some different kinds of challenges in devotion? Nobody? Everyone is facing, right? So these challenges are not meant to stop us. These challenges are meant to develop, improve us or uplift us to the next stage. Ram, Jaya Jaya Ram. Shri Ram, Shri Ram, Jaya Ram, Jaya Jaya Ram. Shri Ram, Jaya Ram, Jaya Jaya Ram. So when devotees spend some valuable time, chant Krishna's name, Lord registers it so personally. One of the Goswamis have written, the moment devotees take Japamala, Krishna starts paying attention to the devotee. Devotee may not be focusing on the chanting. He'll be chanting Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama. Now I am chanting very attentive. I have improved a lot. Now chanting is better. Mala is over. You are not able to focus. Just you examine yourself. Many of us are chanting 16 rounds. 1,700 and how many holy names? Mantras? One, you think 28. 1,728. How many times are we paying attention? How many Maha mantras we would have heard fully? Hardly 100. Out of 16 mala, 5 out of each mala. That is all our capacities. So we are not meditating on Krishna. Who is thinking, remembering us? Goswami has written. Immediately Krishna is because after millions of lifetime, this jiva is calling me, even though inattentively. Krishna pours, showers blessings. So Ram spent a lot of time with monkeys. How many of you have taken selfies with the beggars? Anybody has got a selfie with a beggar? No. We don't take pictures with beggars. We don't take pictures with people who are in poverty. A selfie with a leper. We won't. We take pictures with people, with famous people, celebrities, which others, so that I can go and show off that, this is happening. But you see, Ram has come down and he was known to be in the company of monkeys for 1 full year. More than that, he was taking advice from monkeys. Can you imagine? We don't take advice from our children. We don't take advice from people below us or who are working under us. Because each one was chanting Ram's name and paying attention and serving. Ram has come down and been available to all. This is a magnanimous quality of the Supreme Lord, making himself available to each and every living entity. That is why we call Lord merciful. As people grow up in the ladder, they become famous, they become popular, they become leaders. Will you get time to meet them? Will you get time to chit chat with them? It's humanly impossible. As we become famous, we don't get time, we don't give time to everybody. But Krishna was available to each and every person. And after the war, Ram will go and meet each and every single monkey. Pay attention to them. Touch them personally. The moment we chant Krishna's name, immediately Krishna is all ready to accept us. With open arms, willing to embrace us. Everyone. Let us see what Bharata speaks, some few glories of Bharata. The word Bharata means heaviness. Heaviness. India also is called Bharat, because one great king, Bharata, ruled. But the other meaning for Bharat is, this country is heavy with values, culture, spirituality. That is what India was famous for, not what the present India is. Bharata was heavy, and what was his heaviness? He simply accepted blasphemy, ill name, and calmly, without reacting, he continued to serve. How many of us are blamed for those mistakes which we have not done? Have you got blinds? Have you somebody blamed you? You? Okay, what was that? What was that? You have to be okay. Yeah. Many of you too? Okay. Who blamed you? Too much. Yeah, we should sue your mom. Don't leave her. Okay. How can she be so unfair? Injustice. Very good. Thank you. What's your name? Huh? Arnav. Thank you. Very good. Please, mom, don't do this. Yeah. So many times, at least kids openly spoke, many times in our life, we are blamed for something which we have not done. And what we will do, we will immediately react. We will try to go and prove that I am not at guilt and things like that. Dasharatha also thought mother and son, Kaikeyi and Bharata, jointly schemed the whole thing, planned the whole thing of sending Ram to jungle for 14 years. Bharata was not at all party to this. When all these things happened, he was in Kaikeyi Desha. There was no connection. And he came, by the time he reached Ayodhya, his father passed away. His father passed away. And he went to do the final rites. All the people are gossiping and talking behind him. Selfish mother and son, ruthless, killed his own father and has come with crocodile tears. What kind of a son he is? If I have got a son like this, I will kill him and throw him in Sarayu. People are talking. And Bharata is simply hearing this burning heart. Can't do anything. He can't go and shut every single citizen's mouth. They were all blaming. Whenever Bharata comes out of his palace, people were blaming, criticizing him. Some Brahmanas were turning his face, their face against him. And Bharata was feeling, and he lived with that blame for 14 years. If you are able to convince people that you have not done, you can do. But if there is nobody to listen, simply tolerate. And don't think this situation is unjust. Krishna is giving this situation to make us humble. We all pray to Krishna. Krishna, please make me humble. And he gives a humbling situation, we react. Kind of, We go and say, please make me humble devotee. And Krishna is arranging situations to make us humble, then we retaliate, we react. Bharata understood this. When something is beyond your control and you are blamed for something which you have not done, something unjust, be patient and use that time for more spiritual activities. Prabhupada likes kachori very much. He likes kachori. The more he became sick, he was eating more kachoris. How many of you like kachori? Nitai Miteshwar Prabhu? That's kachori. Right? So Prabhupada once had that kachori and he liked it very much. Then he told his assistant, preserve this, I will take it later. I liked it so much, preserve this. And the devotee straight went to the kitchen and there was a Mataji cooking. She only made the kachoris. Yes. What Prabhupada said, did he like the kachori? Yes, he liked the kachori. She became very happy. But he wanted this to be preserved, he will take later. She said, I can't do this. There are cats everywhere in this place, kitchen. I am scared about the two-legged cats more than the four-legged cats. I cannot protect and preserve this kachori till, Prabhupada wanted this place. He was a little angry and this Mataji kept it safely. As expected, Prabhupada said, get the kachori back. She went and it disappeared. Somebody ate it off. Then this Mataji told that this assistant, Prabhupada's assistant, some cat has eaten the kachori. He went and reported the same thing to Prabhupada. Some cat has eaten the kachori. Prabhupada said, whichever cat has said this, that cat only has eaten this. So everybody immediately accepted Prabhupada's word. They all came to the kitchen and barged and said, you only stole the kachori. Everybody started blaming her. She didn't actually. She was feeling so bad. Why Prabhupada is blaming me? I didn't eat the kachori. In fact, I only made the kachoris. And she felt very bad. It is not like normal people blaming you. Your guru is telling that you stole the kachori. Will you feel bad or not? That lady was completely disturbed. How can Prabhupada tell me, blame me that I took the kachori? She was, and immediately she realized, she pushed away all the thoughts. Okay, cat or rat, let us not bother. Now the thing is kachori. Prabhupada wanted kachori. So she made fresh kachoris and sent to Prabhupada. Prabhupada enjoyed and said, this is better than the previous one. So she became so happy. This is a very mild example of blame. We will be blamed. Sometimes nature will arrange in such a way, people will criticize us. It all happens in spiritual life. Sometimes they will be commented, they will be criticized. When Prabhupada gave Diksha, Prabhupada gave initiation to Westerners. Prabhupada gave initiation to Matajis. Many of his god brothers blamed him. Prabhupada just kept quiet. Sometimes his disciples will react. Prabhupada will say, don't say anything about my god brothers. He will simply keep quiet and go ahead. This teaches us patience, humility, very important. Don't try to react. If you can express yourself, if you can explain and establish the truth, well and good. So Krishna once told Satyajit Maharaja, please give away this Shamantaka jewel which you are wearing, Shamantaka money. That will produce 300 tola of gold every day. How many of you would like to have that money, that jewel at home? Every day 300 tola gold it will simply produce. Krishna told the king, don't wear this and hang around. You are inviting death. And the king asked Krishna, why are you so jealous of me? He thought Krishna is jealous of him. He didn't know Krishna is the jewel among the jewels, So, but as Krishna said, somebody killed his brother and took away the jewel. And that man said, Krishna only stole the jewel. He declared to the whole world, Krishna only stole the jewel. Bhagavan did not react. He went to find the truth. He did not go and fight with the king. Why are you blaming me? I didn't steal the jewel. Why are you doing this? He didn't do that. Krishna went in search of truth. If we can establish the justice, truth, fine. Or else, Ramayana teaches, this is the period you simply wait. And don't do anything, don't react. Bharata, he never entered Ayodhya after that. 14 years he was not able to listen to people. Even after years, people were blaming Bharata. Whenever they see Bharata, they will all talk, and Bharata knew what they are talking. This wretched son. I will never bear a son like this in my womb. Ladies were talking. And these words were piercing. Imagine 14 years he has to hear the same thing. He never entered Ayodhya. Bharata lived in Nandigram. outside Ayodhya, never entered Ayodhya. And he was living inside a pit. And Bharata became extremely careful in that time. Because he was extra conscious, and he placed Lord Ramachandra Bhagavan's lotus paduka, and he was ruling. And he made sure the country will flourish in every tiny aspect. In economy, in taking care of elderly people, paying respects to Brahmana. In the 14 years, he never entered the palace, but he made sure the kingdom flourished. He was extra conscious. And he simply tolerated. For bhakti, tolerance and patience is very, very important. How many of us argue, react, and always try to answer back and establish and prove ourselves to be right? How many of us do? How many of us got that tendency? No one. Almost everybody has got that. At least not in assembly, we will eat our husband's head. That much we can do. You know? And the Prabhu will say, it's okay. No. Why? How can you say, okay, this is what happened, that is what happened? By the time he will be snoring. Happens in every house, yes or no? Sharajji? Happens everywhere. We have that tendency always to rebel, always to react. But for bhakti, this is detrimental. It's completely against devotion. Pranadapi sunilchena taroreva sahishnuna amanina amadena kirtaniya sarvani. So all these messages, Ramayana, Bhagavat, Mahabharata, Bhagavad Gita, not just for reciting, not just for learning, all these things should be realized and put in practice. Every single word should be realized and put in practice. Krishna Keshava, Krishna Keshava, Krishna Keshava, Krishna Keshava, Rama Rama beautiful quality of Lakshman. So far we saw Bharata. Yeah, even at the end, Bharata tolerated this for 14 years. And finally, after 14 years, Ram did not enter Ayodhya. He wanted to check. For the last 14 years, Bharata ruled the kingdom. Maybe he is attached to the kingdom and he wants to be the king. When Ram checked this, Bharata was completely torn apart. My gurus doubted me, my mothers doubted me, my citizens doubted me, my own younger brother Lakshmana doubted me. But finally, Ram also doubted me. And Bharata could not tolerate at that point. Because everybody else doubted him and spoke bad about him, he somehow tolerated. But when Ram checked him, he broke down in tears, he ran and fell at Lord Ram's feet and said, "No more discussion. You enter inside Ayodhya or do the final rites for me and go wherever you want." That's it, no more discussion. Simply lay down on the ground. Then Ram lifted Bharata, embraced and said, "Bharata, I know you by heart. I know what you have been through for 14 years. Imagine Ram is not there. He has to face all the insults and alone. I know what you have gone through 14 years. I wanted this world should understand your glory." And Ram declared, "Bharata, I know him by heart. He is a selfless brother of mine." So, when the time passes, if we are tolerant and patient, all the bad times which we have tolerated, all turn back. Krishna will glorify that devotee. And Krishna takes happiness in glorifying his devotee. In Bhagavatam, Krishna personally glorifies Lord Shiva. Krishna personally glorifies so many wonderful devotees in Bhagavatam. Then Lakshmana. Lakshmana, whoever speaks anything bad about him, he will tolerate. He will not bother. Lakshmana and Mother Sita, they have a very personal relation, very sweet, a different kind of relationship. Because Ram married Sita, in that Swayamvar after lifting that's a whole episode. Janaka Maharaja decided whoever lifts this bow can marry Sita. And why did Janaka do something like that? Sita was 8 years old. Janaka Maharaja got this divine bow, carried by hundreds and thousands of wrestlers, not one or two, huge hitters. And that too, they won't carry it in one stretch. They will carry, walk few steps, they will keep it on, rest, then only they'll carry. That's so heavy it is, that bow. Given by Lord Shiva to different kings, and finally it came to Janaka. So he kept in his room and he was worshipping. 2, 3 things, amazing things happened when Sita was 8 years old. She was personally taking care of that room. She was doing arati for the bow, cleaning and offerings because it's divine weapon of Lord Shiva. One day when Janaka saw the small baby girl, 8-year-old girl, she was cleaning the room, lifted the bow, cleaned and kept it. Just, Janaka was shocked. Another day, Sita's friends came and said, beautiful flowers in the garden, which we have not seen, so many wonderful, but it's too high. Sita said, "Don't worry, I'll come now." She went and brought that bow and pulled all the flowers and put. And Janaka could not believe. Then he decided whoever marries her at least should be able to live to this man. Otherwise, if something goes wrong, that man is finished. So Ram came. So many kings from different places came. None of them could move. So finally Ram came. Ram also knew that Sita lifted this bow. Because Janaka Maharaja said, it's not that only you can do this. There is one more person who can do this. My daughter Janaki. So he simply lifted like a baby plucking a flower so easily. And he broke the bow and it was like a huge noise, sound. Then the time came for Mother Sita to drop garland around Ram's neck. Swayamvara marriage. That is all marriages. All this Mangal Sutra, Tali, Wali and all came very much later. There is no reference for Mangal Sutra and all that Tali anywhere in Puranas and scriptures. Any girl trusting a man and walking behind him for keeping 7 steps, she is considered to be married to that man. Luckily, we don't have that rule now. Anybody who follows a man with faith, and the relationship becomes pakka when he gives a flower to her, drops a garland. Nowadays, everybody is giving flower to everybody. That's how marriage is then done. So she was about to drop the garland around Lord Ram's neck, and Ram purposefully did not bow down. He stood straight, And Ramayana says he is 7+ feet or something like that. Very tall Ram is. All his arms are extended up to the knees. Very handsome he is. Arms are very long, beautiful eyes, and he is emerald green color. I don't know how that will look like. Emerald green color. Very handsome. Majestic personality. Even when the kings were entering the assembly and they were trying to lift the bow, and the bard was announcing, the king of Magadha is here, the king of Kalinga is there, everybody will clap and all. Sita was not at all interested. She was sitting in the throne and completely she lost interest. And when the bard announced, now the prince of Sun dynasty, Raghava, Rajiva Lochana, Raghuvamsha Tilaka, Sri Ramachandra, tak, she opened her eyes. She became very interested. The eyeballs are all going like butterflies here and there. She became completely interested. And Ram came. And it's time for her to drop the garland. Ram did not bow down. So she was feeling shy in front of hundreds of thousands of people. If she's in Kaliva, she would have pulled his neck. Sita is very polite. So she did not know. She could not throw the garland. She was holding and feeling very under, and Ram is purposefully standing like that. So Lakshmana saw this, and Lakshmana just pushed himself inside, in between, and touched Ram's feet. When Lakshmana touched Ram, immediately moved by affection. That's what Lord will be flowing with love for his devotees. The moment devotees glorify him, chant his name, come in front of him, speak his glories, do something, distribute prayer, Lord will be flowing with love for that devotee. He's doing that for me in Kaliuga. He's doing that after millions and millions of birth time. He's doing that. Lord will be flowing with love. Immediately Ram bowed down and lifted Lakshmana. Sita dropped the garland. So Sita had a very personal, sweet relationship with Lakshmana. And Lakshmana is a man of principle. You do anything to him, he will stand like a rock. You insult him, blame him, attack him, he will take up everything. He will not react. But if anyone does anything against Ram, speak a single word against Ram, he will roar like a lion cub, it seems. Ramayana says he will roar like a lion cub, and one day he pulled his sword and told Ram, I'm going to kill that old man. I'm going to rip him apart. Peel his skin and hang him down in the entrance of fire. He's talking about his father. I'll rip that old. And Ram said, Lakshmana, sit down, why are you so angry? Right? And Sita Devi used to always taunt Lakshmana. Kambaramayana, there's a beautiful line. பொய்யோ எனும் இடையாளோடும் இளையானோடும் மையோ மரகதமோ மணிமுகிலோ என்னோர் இவன் அழகு. I'm sure nobody understood that. It's a beautiful description. The young, slender-waist lady is walking in the front. And the poet is saying, we don't even know whether she has a waist. She's so beautiful and slender. She's walking in the middle. And younger brother is walking in the front. And the man who is glowing like a sun, like a green emerald, the majestic Lord is walking behind. That's how they were walking all the time. Lakshmana in the front, Sita in the middle, and Ram at the end. and Sita Devi will not keep quiet. Because Lakshmana never seen Sita above her feet. So Sita will taunt him. Lakshmana, are you more closer to Ram than me? You know, something in all she will keep asking and taunt. And Lakshmana will not even joke with Sita. He's a man of principle. He will not even joke or crack a joke. Because this joke thing, no, we have to be extremely careful. Because many times we will cross the border and hurt somebody. How many of you got that experience? Joking and that goes beyond, out of control. So Lakshmana will never crack jokes. Not even with Ram, not even with Sita. It's like a man of principle. And Ram will say, Janaki, why are you taunting him? Sita Devi will not keep quiet. Some like that. And even in Panchavati, they were there. In Chitrakoot, they were there. Ram and Sita will be in one particular place and Lakshmana will be in another, top of another hill protecting them. So respectful. And a couple of times Lakshmana said to Ram, why you want to test Mother Sita? I will vouch for Sita. I will jump inside fire and I'll prove that Sita is chaste. He was ready to commit suicide for a couple of times just for the sake of Ram and Sita. So beautiful their relationship is. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Prabhu told me to stop the class. So, Lord is having a very personal, sweet relationship with all of us. It is our responsibility to keep our mind very calm because that is very important for the improvement of bhakti. Krishna is asking in a shloka in Bhagavad Gita, Ashantasya Kutasukha. If you are not peaceful, then we cannot enjoy the bliss. It is our own responsibility. We cannot blame anybody that he disturbed me, she disturbed me, that thing disturbed me. It is my responsibility to keep my heart very calm. And that is possible only in very deep, sincere chanting. One important rule about chanting is we should listen to what we chant. Very important. There is a small difference in Bhagavatam and Mahabharata. In Bhagavatam, it says, Krishna left this planet from Somnath, Veraval, Prabhaspatam. How many of you have been there? Somnath, where Krishna lived? Yes. But in Mahabharata it is said, when Krishna left the planet, he left his body also. How is that possible? How can Krishna leave a body? He doesn't have a body like us. But Mahabharata says, Krishna left the body and Arjuna did some rites to the final rites to the body. And Acharyas, devotees, Vaishnavas can never digest how Krishna can leave a body. Krishna is Sachidananda Swarupa, not humans like us to have another body, leave this body. You know, we all have a body, we leave our body, and all our relatives enjoy having feast. Thank God this guy is gone. You know, but how Krishna can leave a body? This is very confusing and bewildering. So Acharyas explain what it is. Arjuna can see Krishna face to face. Dronacharya, Bhishma, all the great devotees can see Krishna. But do you think Duryodhana and sinful Shakuni, Karna, all those people also can see Krishna and touch Krishna? Is it possible? No. So what Krishna did, he assumed when he came, he collected all the material energy, 24 elements, Virat Rupa, and made a form so that these non-devotees can see. It is like many of our devotees, we all have glasses, specs. Now Sharad Prabhu is having a specs. Is he seeing the specs or seeing objects through the specs? Yeah, he's not seeing the specs, right? So, devotees, when Krishna appeared, used that media and saw Krishna. But non-devotees saw only that external, the material energy which covered Krishna. That body, just to bewilder the atheistic and non-devotees, Krishna gave that and left. That energy he accepted and he gave it off. Right? In the same way, you see deities in the temple, right? Krishna, who is there in Goloka, is equally beautiful like the deities or more than the deities. Krishna, who is in Goloka, his beauty, his form is like the Murti in the temple or more than that. But we are seeing what happens gradually when we relate with the deity. As we get purified, we will be able to, like Sarat Prabhu is using the glasses and seeing objects. In the same way, the more pure we become, when we interact with the deities, we will be able to interact with that Satchidananda Swarupa, the Supreme Personality of God. In the same way, the moment we start chanting Hare Krishna, Nama Prabhu, Nama is installed in our heart. The holy name is installed in our heart. When we pay more and more attention, being attentive and focus and listen to the holy name, slowly the holy name will reveal the Supreme Lord to us. He's already there in our heart. So it is a responsibility of each and every single devotee to develop that beautiful relation. Pay more attention in chanting the holy name. Put your attention, be focused, give priority for the holy name. Every day morning, chant a good number of rounds. Pay focus to it. Listen to that. Don't allow your focus, that Shraddha to distract. These tiny things if we do, we will be able to. सीताराम लक्ष्मण हनुमान की श्रील प्रभुपाद की निताय गौर प्रेमानंद Hare Krishna. Thank you so much for all the Avataridesh devotees for giving this wonderful opportunity. Thank you so much. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Any questions? Yes, John.
You said that Narayan and Lakshmi they took the form of Ram to have like dragon that, right? Can't the demigods because the demigods can see.
Or when they were privately, what a question. Sita was happy at least. She could get Ram, for full 13 years. Nobody was there to disturb. Maybe they're saying, but they didn't come and disturb her. See, she was satisfied, so don't worry. Amazing questions they ask. I don't know from where these kids get questions. 2 days back, another one small girl, third or fourth standard. Day before yesterday in another satsang, one third standard girl, a small girl, she asked question, Prabhuji, why boys are so aggressive? I don't know. She's asking the question. How can I answer? Yes, Prabhuji.
So first of all, thank you very much, Gopi, for your wonderful narration of Ramayana and explaining such wonderful principles through the character of Bharat as well as Krishna. So today, one devotee actually asked me this question in the afternoon. So this person is a devotee, and in COVID time he preached his family, and they became favorable. They were like took up Krishna consciousness. But sometimes, when the calamities strike and the reversal calculation in life, it becomes very difficult for some people to continue. So he was saying that although philosophically he is able to tell them that it may be Krishna's arrangement and all those things, philosophically they are aware. But he says because of that calamity, they are not able to really, take it. And as we said, tolerance and patience, say that both these attributes are losing instead that they are going away from Krishna. So philosophically, obviously, we can say, but they are not able to really understand. So what should be done for in such situation so that those devotees they don't really lose their faith and go away, from Krishna.
It's very important because I also heard many devotees face this situation. That is why we should have company of devotees, several devotees. So, if there are a group of 10 devotees, all the 10 are not going to face calamity at the same time. One or two will be facing. Another 5, 6 will be in a very strong position. So when we have nice relationship, sweet relationship with these devotees, people who are strong at that time, they will again and again will come and help and try to lift that person. And after some years, somebody else will become strong and that's how the world is. I will take the freedom of another one small instance from Mahabharata. Out of Pandavas, Bhima and Arjuna are thick friends. That is why in the first chapter of Bhagavad Gita, this word is constantly used. Bhima Arjuna, Bhima Arjuna. It doesn't say Yudhishthira, Nakula, like Bhima Arjuna. They were thick friends. And when they were young, they will not sleep. All the kids will be sleeping, all the other three. These two will be kuch, 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 talking all the time. Some kids don't sleep. Then one day Kunti Maharani cried and broke open her heart and she was crying in front of Vidura. Why I have to go through all these things? My children are poisoned, they were put in house of fire, so many tests again, jungle and this and that, so many things. Then Vidura said, don't worry Kunti, I don't know the answer for all your questions. But one thing I'm very sure, your elder son is Dharmishta, is Dharma. If his blood, a drop of blood from his body falls on the ground will break apart. Such a dharmic, as long as he is with you, you don't have to worry about anything. And these two boys are listening to that. Who? Arjuna and Bhima. Then things have changed many years. This is because of Yudhishthira. He went and played the game of dice. We lost the kingdom. I'm going to kill him and this. Then immediately Arjuna pulled Bhima down. I'll tell you a story. When we were young and one day we were sleeping. You remember what Vidura told our mother? Dharmishta. As long as he is there with us, nothing. Then Bhima. Then in the jungle for 12 years, he was not getting enough to eat every. He gets very disturbed, you know. If there is no prasad proper at the proper time, he gets very disturbed. Then again he became wild. Then Arjuna told, I'll tell you a story, sit down. When we were young, then Bhima will. Every time Bhima gets disturbed, Arjuna will tell the story and Bhima will become calm. Same way, Arjuna became Brihannava, Shikandi for 1 year. You remember? He became neither man. And Arjuna could not tolerate, walking in the street. He was a Paurusha, man of, so much of male power, fighting with Shiva, fighting such a, and walking like that. He couldn't digest. How many men can wear sari and walk on the street? Possible? Impossible. But all the women are wearing men's clothes and walking. But men can't do that. Even now they can't do that. So Arjuna could not take it up. 1 full year living. One day he lost all his composure, everything he broke down. I am going to punish Yudhishthira. Bhima said, sit down, I'll tell you one story. What a sweet relationship they both had. When one goes out of control, the other one immediately pulls back. That is why we should have strong devotees as friends. So in a group of devotees, one goes little down. This is quite common in this world, The moment economical crisis comes, health goes, whatever normal, most of the devotees will get disturbed. That's why you need to have friendship. Strong devotees, you should have all around Siddha Gauranga Prabhu, Rasamukha Prabhu, Parikshit Prabhu, and Nitai Nateshwar Prabhu, Double Swan. You should have company. So if one goes weak, another one will pull you up. That is why we say company of devotees is very important. Thank you.
One question. This is about in connection with the association. You started with this of the association, now also mentioned that. So I wanted to mention that many of them today's program they agreed to come in person, but as soon as we put the Zoom ID on the group, they don't step back and watching it on online. So my question was, they can come. This Zoom ID was for them who are in India or who are very far off can't come actually. But we wanted you this to come in person and take your association, hear it from live. So can you give some more importance
that
on
is
power of association
in this in this context, very important. Suppose imagine you are going to get mantra diksha from your spiritual master. What you will prefer? Go sit in front of him and get mantra directly from him, or will you prefer to get mantra online? Which one you will prefer? So that means everybody knows the value. When things were not available and sometimes situation is bad and you are far, you can't reach, then this media is good. But when something is available, then better to take it directly. Suppose on some important activity you can't be there or some health issue, then you can opt for online. But now when option is there, then better to be physically present there. Right? Thank you. Hare Krishna.